Testing. Okay, this one should work. Let's go and use the other ones here. Let me just hear the sound real quick. And I can't hear anything. I don't know why that is. I heard something for a minute, and now I don't hear anything. So I'm going to wait for this to catch up here. Possibly. Maybe. No. Got nothing. Maybe you can hear me now. I don't know. Really should watch this in real time. Catch up here. Possibly. Testing. Maybe. No. Got nothing. Maybe you can hear me now. I don't know. Oh, that one's not working. So, really I'll be back with the other one. I think it's in the other room. This one should work, but it's 10 or 15 seconds behind, so I won't know for sure for a couple minutes here. Hopefully it is working fine. Not 100% sure. We'll find out. Hey. Good. I can hear. Okay, so I'll go and share my screen with you guys here. Let me fix this real quick. That's annoying. See if there's a way to, let's get rid of that. Let's add, sure, wow, specifics for me. That's annoying. Because I run ultra wide and I really don't want to change it to 1080p, but it looks like I don't have much of a choice. I hate how it makes it look, but it is what it is. Okay, perfect. Now you guys can see. Okay, so the purpose of this live stream. I actually don't know what the purpose of this live stream is. Shit. I gotta get through some questing today. I boosted Druid all the way up. There she is. Shizuru. So there's gonna be not major changes, but with where the PC market is right now, there's not a lot of interesting things going on, to say the very least. With cryptocurrency mining and lack of releases, there's nothing extravagant. So what'll probably happen is I'll probably review some things here or there. I mean, I wouldn't expect a lot of releases. I don't have anything lined up with builds right now. I don't anticipate anytime soon. But one thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting a second channel, most likely, for a couple reasons. First things first is the very little money I made off of YouTube, which is less than $1,000 lifetime, is going away. So, unfortunately, I don't have 1,000 subscribers. I'm about halfway there, and the reality of it is not that I ever did this for the money, but it's gonna take a lot of time and effort to get to that 1,000 mark point. So I'm gonna kind of just keep building it slowly. I don't want to pour a lot of money into it because I unfortunately just don't have a lot of money to do that. But I'll still continue to build the channel pretty slowly. When new releases come out, big releases, I'm probably gonna probably do them. I should be in a better spot by then. But I want to start my second channel because it's going to be work related. It's going to be a cybersecurity YouTube channel. Because I've really, after my training is completed from Germany, which I'm back home now, I've actually really taken a pretty big interest into the subject, even more than the interest than I had before. I learned a lot, and my suspicions and ideas were pretty much proven correct. That, it's a really important field and place to be in. That a lot of people and companies do not put nearly as much stock into the security as they should. To be honest, I probably haven't either. I'm obviously going to be changing that soon. Sure, we'll go with that. And only 2 more away from getting 2 legendaries here. Oh, my Druid's got 904, which is pretty cool. Should probably switch the balance. So that's probably going to be the future. I've actually noticed that some of my most popular videos, and popularity isn't important necessarily because, like I said, I make very little to no money. My return's probably less than a penny on a dollar, to give you an idea. So clearly, guys, don't start a YouTube channel for as a primary source of income, because that's a pretty bad idea. But where was I going with that? But yeah, it seems like some of my smaller projects, the one recommended by Crackling Ice with the Cooler Master Light 120, for example, great investment. I probably almost made back my money that I spent on that, technically. I want to say, let me pull it up here. Career Studio. View channel. And then videos. And then we're going to... Nope, not what I wanted. Bad idea. Where's the Cooler Master Light 120? That was after that stuff. Oh yeah, it's in this group. So let me switch this over here so you guys can see. Display capture, main. Okay. So actually, I was in the wrong spot. Oh, here we go. So we have the Cooler Master Light 120. I did some overclocking on it. I don't think I did another video outside of that. I think it's in this one, yeah. So 8,300 views, and this one did 1.9 thousand, so 2,000 views. This one did 7,200 views. So to give you an idea, just kind of give you what's popular and what's not. Let me see if I... Oh, here we go. Sort by popularity. Most popular. So these are my most popular videos in order, right? So how to install GTX 770, that was a video I did for a friend of mine. Did it for her husband. This one, obviously, I did at the time that it came out, like the next day. So a lot of popularity there. This one is unmonetized. It was, I mean, I'll be honest, I really don't like the fact I did that video. I literally just echoed Linus's results and didn't do my own, but that was 4 years ago. When I first got my 1700X, that's all I had to compare it to. Live stream with the 1700X, that was, a lot of people were, interested in that. And that's where some of these come in, right? So, the Light 120, the Gammax 400, overclock benchmarks, maximum overclock, not just the base overclock. This review I did, I don't even remember doing that 4 years ago. This was at stock, not as popular. This one was demonetized. Interesting video, build log I did. So, the build logs do okay. They take a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. Most of them don't have a great return. So, Ryzen 5 or GTX 1050 or with the 1050 Ti, not bad, but I mean it's 37 minutes of footage. This was a live build log, so I mean it is what it is. This is oh, that was a good video. That was fine. I thought it was something else. Some of these videos weren't perceived well. A lot of people didn't like them. But some of my least popular videos, honestly, they're almost all live streams, if you actually see. So, like for example, this is my personal video card, 43 views. Threadripper unboxing, nobody cared. 1 terabyte storage, and nobody cared. I tried to do videos like this, like what's going on workshop, not really popular. So I've done a lot of videos that weren't very popular. I just like to get what I do out there, to be honest. It's not necessarily about money or this or that. It's just about, oh, no. Do not want to do that. It really comes down to just liking what I do and interacting with everybody. That's the reality of it. And I think I might cross some of my audiences in the future. But my time in Germany was actually pretty good. Okay. Where have you been? How are you doing? So, I've been in Germany. I was in Germany for about 3 weeks. I was in Germany for training. I am an inside technical sales representative for Hornet Security. They are a cybersecurity company that works on the business side. They do a lot of things, basically everything. Sorry, post-Germany trip. My bad. They do a lot of things on the email side. That's pretty much where they secure things, is on the email side. So that's where I was at. I spent a weekend in Barcelona as a fun trip. I enjoyed my time there. It wasn't long enough, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I'm going to try to monitor the comments from my... there we go. Live chat. There we go. Now I can monitor comments from my phone here. Once I can mute it. There we go. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun out in Germany. Met some really, really cool people. I'm going to be doing my next year or so with the company. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of work. Why not? Oh, I need to get artifacts for this. It's going to be a fair bit of work because, so how the company's structured is they have a lot of different roles in the company, and the reality of it is whenever we move over to the U.S. market, which obviously that's why they hired me and my fellow coworker Giuseppe, we're going to be filling a lot of those roles ourselves. So we're really not going to have independent technical support and customer service reps. We will have some support for back at home, but we'll be responsible for handling a large portion of it, and it makes sense. I mean, I when you're moving to a new segment, you don't want to pour endless amounts of money into that particular segment. It's not good business decision. So it's gonna be fun because I get to do a lot of different parts of what the company does. So I'll be obviously inside sales. I'll be doing customer relations. I'll be doing work with our partners. I'll be doing at least the first level technical support. So that's not something that a technical sales rep usually gets to do. But I think that's good because that's something that a lot of those parts of the job I think I do very well at. So I think that the people that the company hired, me and my fellow coworker in the States, definitely two very good choices to really push the market out there. But I still have a dead 1 terabyte drive that I need to send back to Toshiba at some point here. Oh, why did it do that? Why does it do that? No. Why is that still cut off? I'm confused on why this is not lining up right. There we go. Now this should be working, maybe. Just had a hiccup. But yeah, some good stuff going on in my life anyway. And I hope that I hope we can do well. I've been given a I don't want to say an opportunity of a lifetime would be pretty fair to say in my opinion. Light. Darn it. I'll probably have to continue this. Change my title. I did change it. Smartass. But yeah, being able to go to another country, which I've not had the pleasure of doing, actually technically visiting 3 countries, Iceland, Germany, and Barcelona. Definitely that in itself was definitely worth it. Where do they want to go? I think I want to go here. And being able to do a technical sales position is cool. Who am I supposed to talk to? That's right, he comes from over here. A mixture of what I'm good at, sales and tech. That's essentially, what I do. Although, wish I could just sit here and build computers all day and sell it, but that's well, it's profitable if you can get mining, if you can get the GPUs at MSRP. Oh, that's right. It takes you one side to the other. But otherwise, everything's been good. I hope that I'll be able to do a fair bit of smaller projects. Oh, will I be doing Ryzen 12 nanometer? Probably. The timeline should line up to the point where it shouldn't be too difficult for me to just go out and buy a processor for a few $100. That's not a huge investment. So I would like to. I want to see, what kind of. I was looking at my motherboard. What kind of performance Ryzen 2 12 nanometer offers, if there's better overclocking headroom and stuff like that. I have a 1600X. I'll probably go back to a 12 core, or a E-core again, rather. So, um, so for anybody that's interested in my trip, Germany's an interesting place. I landed in Frankfurt. I took a bus to Hanover for a week. I spent the remaining 2 weeks in Berlin. Our Hanover office is really nice. Our Berlin office is really cool, but Hanover's the main headquarters, so there's that offers a couple things. So pros and cons to big office versus small office. Everybody kind of knows each other in the small office segment, but in a larger office setup, you have a lot of like small groups of people that, yes, they're all close and nobody hates each other by any stretch. But with the smaller office, you get people that are just, they're friends. They're there to work, but they're all really close. When you have 100+ people in one office, you want to be close to everybody, but it's tough. If anybody's wondering, if it allows you to, yes. I don't know if people have been able to. You might be able to link, like, if you link the last part, I'll relink it with a YouTube link if it doesn't work. The reason why I'm resto is because my balanced weapon's really low, so it doesn't do nearly that much damage. I lack a lot of intellect. That's good I can solo, though, like this, which is nice. Let me bring it up here. Hold on a second. Let me first see what it links to. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I probably need to figure out how to actually allow people to do that. Oh. Oh. So here's what we'll do. We're going to add a main screen again. I should probably do this. Let's watch it. I don't know if I believe that, because I don't know if any any of those CPUs that did that well. But I am hopeful. I should kill him, yeah. amazing how much damage I do as Resto. Which is good. I like the fact that I really don't have to be Moonkin to quest and do this shit. I fixed it some time ago, babe. Just go get your Denny's and be happy. So, this was actually interesting. So, my wife, who is Allie King, for those of you that don't know, when I was going to Germany, she was like, when are you leaving again? Can I drop you off like a week early? You know, trying to get me out of the house, right? Literally, as soon as I landed in Germany, I got a text, I miss you, when are you coming home? Like, I think it was literally when I landed in freaking Frankfurt or something like that. It was funny she's not a big softie, to say the least. And, you know, she's not military, you know, that'll kind of drive any emotion you have, the military takes out of you. But, to get that was, like, interesting to say the least. That's the thing. 1.55 volts. Got it. I guess that's possible. I never tried to push it that far. 1.45 is the absolute furthest I did for testing. And I had some chips that wouldn't even hit 4 gigahertz at that kind of speed. Yeah, I'm very hopeful for for the Ryzen refresh, no doubt. I think you know, AMD is doing a good job. Definitely some ups and downs, there's no doubt about that. But overall, you know, I have nothing bad to say about what AMD has been able to do the last, you know, year and a half. The only problem is I don't have cooldowns as a Boomkin, or as Resto with Boomkin. Damn it. Well, at least I'm probably not going to die. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Damn it. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Well, support and actually working are two different things, as I have found out. You know, I'm running RAM at 2933, which honestly I think is about the fastest it supports anyway. It was actually funny because I went to overclock the RAM like before I left, not realizing the RAM actually it was already overclocked. I had done it earlier. LFG, looking for groups really good for those rares. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Oh, this character has 7 hours play and I'm already 900 item level. I'm just that good. I tried to heal Halls of Valor on this character, like a +7, and it's probably me just being really bad, but I was extremely annoyed because the tank kept bringing the boss right next to me, and I got cleaved. Like, I'm getting cleaved to death every freaking time. It's quite annoying to say the least. Oh wow, that was a pretty nice crit. Should finish him off, yeah. Swoop in. Get the hell out before I get killed. Yeah, so I brought my work laptop to play WoW. I loaded it up on a flash drive, which honestly, a USB 3.0 flash drive inside of a USB 3.0 port work great. No problems at all, right? However, integrated graphics, oh, like even raids at like level 1 settings was tough. The Core i7 was fine. But what I didn't realize until recently was when you take my Core i7 6500U, which is a 2.5 gigahertz mid-3 boost, dual-core hyper-threading, and put it against something like my Ryzen chip, right? There's a huge difference. I mean, I'm not talking like I'm talking to give you an idea on how much of a difference there was. I can run SimCraft on my computer with WoW open. It takes about 30 to 40 seconds with WoW open. Without WoW open, it takes about 20 seconds. This laptop with everything else turned off was taking anywhere between 7 and 9 minutes per sim. So we're talking a magnitude of roughly, I think I averaged it 15 times more powerful my Ryzen chip is. Despite on the sheet of paper, it only looks to be 4 times more powerful. I actually do not. Nothing against them, I just don't happen to. I didn't realize we're actually, I thought that was a druid. That was the guy's pet. Whoops. Yeah, I did some testing on that. 2100 to 3000 in most games doesn't do much. Most video games, WoW probably being an exception to the rule, processing power just isn't really all that important. There's very few games that that made even a little bit of difference, let alone a lot. Now, benchmark scores, different story. You know, if you're using a program like Adobe that's very heavy on memory, of course, yeah. I'm not saying it's not worth the investment. What I am saying is that depending on what you're trying to achieve, you know, RAM's already expensive. I don't know how much more expensive faster RAM is, but most games aren't really going to benefit it from much, so it just depends on, you know, I would feel comfortable recommending, you know, depending on the price, 2666 to 3000 for most people, if the price difference isn't much. Go ahead and okay, I'll go ahead and link this for you. I'm looking for this guy again. I'm gonna presume this is I had an ad pop up, but
Awesome new Wix website. It's got everything I love all in one place. Well, of course that means YouTube.
skip it.
How's it going, everyone? This is my blank. Welcome back to my channel. And late again, but hey, at least I've moved into the new place, thing, studio, whatever you want to call it. But more on that in another video, because today we're taking
In 1 second here.
lots of fast memory and low latencies, tight timing to further improve from where we last left off, 3600 megahertz RAM. The community around Ryzen is very strong, and there's a they might not be fresh news, I believe it is for the majority of us. I've been closely following RAM developments on the
Oh, this
Ryzen Build
this is
platform.
working with latency. Interesting. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing right now. My puppy's laying down for a little bit, so I want to get some much WoW done as possible. If if Ryzen's biggest problem isn't really IPCs, its single thread performance is fine. Um, its biggest problem is clock speed. You know, if your IPCs are 5% behind, it's gonna hardly be noticeable. But if your clock speed is 25% behind, that's where you notice it. So if you can get a Ryzen chip in the mid to upper fours consistently, um, honestly, Ryzen will be fine. If they still struggle um, to hit above 4 gigahertz, unless they make some serious architectural changes, it's not really going to help that much. So probably one time that I'd probably want to be Boomkin. So outside of cryptocurrency mining, anything new and interesting in the industry, other than people are really bad with their security and get hacked all the time? Ooh, nice. Yeah, I've already watched through that a couple times. Oh, do tell. Sorry, I my VPN Tunnel Bear. Um, Nothing against Linus or anything, but Tunnel Bear isn't particularly that great. Um, I don't want to. Okay, it may not be Tunnel Bear's fault. We have so over in Germany. I couldn't watch like Crunchyroll or anything. Apparently, a lot of these services block traffic that are coming from VPNs. So, are they SATA? Are they Octane? Or are they PCI Express? Or M.2 rather? Well, I guess M.2 could be SATA or PCI Express. Ooh. You wanted to tell me that I'm live. Yeah, I know that I'm live. Thank you. presume you mean Octane. Not sure how I feel about that. The Octane's good in theory, but being a proprietary standard is a pain in the ass. Let's go. Hmm. I don't... I never like anybody that tries to stick to proprietary standards. I really don't. No, look at Apple. You know, now that they're using a lot more open source standards, they're building a better product overall. But I just don't like the... I didn't like the fact that, you know, having proprietary stuff just makes life unnecessarily difficult. You know, the fact that Intel Octane doesn't work with AMD. I get it, Intel designed it, but considering how popular... Well, that's not even an excuse, okay? That's a horrible excuse because, you know, I'm waiting for him to come over here. They're using RX Vega on Intel chips. Like, really? Like, you're using, you know, a competitor's division to help, you know, further your product. The fact that your technology you're going to make proprietary with your own product, you're going to alienate. You're not going to, you know, I have zero, and I mean absolutely zero interest in, how do I do this again? Oh, yeah. I have zero interest in switching to Intel right now. So if I want Optane, I'm screwed. It won't work. That's alienating your customer base. You know, the marketing's going to say, well, it's going to force people to go Intel. No, it won't. If the technology is not amazing, okay? So, not to say Intel Octane technology isn't great. I don't have results. I don't have my own hands-on results to talk about that, right? So, I've seen the videos. It's basically a glorified caching system that can, I believe, hold an OS, right? Great. It's a really nice feature. I would probably buy it, but only if I had an Intel system. But I'm not going to shell out $500-600 to switch systems just to try out new technology. Where do I have to go? Yes, I know. Sorry to go off on a little tirade there, but I get it. You know, okay. If you're developing a technology and you develop it on, you know, your own platform, so that's how it's going to work right out the gate, I get that. You know, you may not want to spend the resources. You may not want to spend the resources to develop on other platforms right out the gate. It just doesn't make sense. But Intel has not shown anything. Talking about switching systems. Oh, Intel Octane technology. Sorry. But yeah, so yes, you're going to develop your platform, but you really, really should consider making it open source. You will gain, I think, more money that way. My wife tagged me in a post. Hmm. Boy to boy a minute. Boy to mom 59 seconds. Boy to mom 50 seconds. Boy to dad 30 seconds. Boy to girl 1 hour 23 minutes. Girl to girl 5. Husband to wife 3 seconds. Mom to married daughter 10 hours. Wife to husband 14 missed calls. That's funny. It is, but I don't believe the whole caching system works on non-Intel platforms. Correct. That's what I was getting at. But you wouldn't, due to the cost, you wouldn't buy it just to make an NVMe drive. You would only buy it for the caching system, because why would you buy an Intel Optane? Intel Optane NVMe drives are by no means the best for the price. So, yeah, I mean, there's ways to set it up. I get that, but I don't like the whole like, hey, we have a new technology and it only works on our system, because we don't want to put any resources after we've worked on it for X amount of time to make it work on anybody else's system, even though only 70% of you have our system out there. I'm just not a fan. I mean, maybe I'm being overly critical. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the idea. And again, like I said, I understand costs money to develop something. My point is that the end game for Octane is not to ever allow it to work the way it works on Intel on AMD platforms. Now, is it because AMD doesn't want to work with them? I doubt it. I think it's just Intel using technology as a way to say, hey, if you want some of this new technology, you're going to have to move to our platform. And I don't like them doing it. That's literally, okay, in my opinion, no different than AMD come out saying, well, if you want to use an AMD graphics card, you have to have an AMD CPU. That doesn't work on other platforms. And I don't think anybody will disagree with me on that. And I know there's other solutions, but the fact that there's other solutions that work well, and Intel refuses to implement them, not because they can't, because they don't want to, that's where my problem is. I disagree. It is Intel's responsibility to do so. 100%. Because when you're making a piece of hardware, it is your responsibility to provide the support to make sure it works on other hardware. Case in point, graphics card manufacturers or motherboard manufacturers have to make sure that, well, I guess the PCI Express thing is a little different now, but I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I don't agree with it. Why did I do that? That's too much in my opinion, cost-wise. I think that's the idea of a caching system is nice, but you know, how much of a premium are you really going to spend on that? It's one of those things where I think a lot of people wouldn't mind spending additional 20%, but they're not literally going to pay that much. Again, my point though is you would not buy it if the caching doesn't work. And that comes back to my point that it is Intel's responsibility to design the firmware for it to work. Maybe not right out of the gate, but eventually. And the thing is Intel doesn't have any plans on doing that. They're basically saying, "Hey, we have this new technology. It's pretty cool, but if you're not already supporting our infrastructure, then you can't use it." I don't like that. I just straight up don't like it. The hardware industry's gotten away from that. Apple uses pretty standard hardware across the board nowadays. Yes, there's exception. Yes, there's memory that works better than others, but it's like that with AMD, and that's due to design issues, not intentional. Most SSDs work. They're using Intel-based CPUs. They're using, you know, AMD or NVIDIA-based graphics cards. Yeah, they're made a little bit different sometimes for it to work a little bit better, but it's still standard stuff. Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking for. Just like the fact that a motherboard manufacturer has to design the motherboard to work with two different kind of graphics cards that are designed a lot different than each other. I'm sorry, I don't look at that as something that's unreasonable. I think that it falls back on responsibility of the manufacturer. Apple in some cases uses a specific fusion drive. That is correct. Okay, but you can literally on most MacBooks that support SATA. In fact, they almost all do. You can put a regular SATA SSD in it. Does it come with a standard SATA drive? No. It uses a PCI Express fusion drive. I get that. But the point is a regular SATA SSD will work. So that's, again, my problem. That literally Apple has more compatibility than Intel's offering in some cases. No. Because it's not their product. That... Okay, so I'll put it this way. If Intel wants to say, hey, here's the information about our product, here's how we design it, blah, 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 you know, you have to modify it to work with your system, that's fine. But the problem is that it's not really handled like that. Intel may say, oh, it only works on ours, too bad, too sad. They never gave AMD the opportunity to have it work on their systems. And that it's actually comes down to, in my opinion, internal testing on Intel to see if they can get it to work on other systems. Because most hardware manufacturers do that. They try to make sure it works on all platforms. No, it does not. That's my point. Is that an Optane drive is not just an NVMe drive. An Optane drive is an NVMe drive with a smart caching system set up to offer blazing fast speeds for a lot of workloads. If it was just an NVMe drive, then we wouldn't have a problem. You could just set it up as a regular solid state drive with really fast reads and writes and call it a day. But that's not the thing. You would not spend extra money on Optane drive without being able to utilize everything to its fullest extent. That they wrote their software, firmware, whatever, to specifically only work on their system and did not either test it on other platforms or allow the other platforms to do their own testing to get it to work. They basically said, this is our product, it's only allowed to be working on our system, and that's it. That's where I have a problem. My wife just sent me something funny, but gotta do that real quick. Again, though, see, that's the other problem. Is instead of designing the firmware on the actual chip, they design it on the motherboard. And AMD does not have access to that firmware to, they have to basically get a workaround to get it to work. I don't like that. But and see, that's primarily the problem that I have, is that, they have this new technology that, honestly, they really didn't do anything new. They basically made a new, basically an update on their motherboards. And then they basically increased the price of the product substantially over what you would pay for it anywhere else. But again, for it to work, it won't even work right because the firmware and everything is built onto their own platform. It's not actually built into the device itself. That's honestly the problem that I have with the whole issue. By the way, use your spell on 6 when you are not in boomkin form. Oh. Yeah, good point. I didn't think about that. Because essentially, what they've done, Crackling, is they made a NVMe SSD that's really expensive for what it offers, that does nothing different than any other NVMe SSD. They market it as something that is different than what everybody else offers, but realistically, it's simply just a firmware update on their chipset that allows it to happen. That's my point. So my wife just sent me something. Soldier discharge after accidentally ejaculating into your urinalysis test. That's funny. So I did all the reach quests, so I'm definitely good there. And that's entirely my problem. Is they come out with a new product that honestly is not a new product at all. Okay. That the product by itself does not work the way it's advertised. And it's not because AMD is lazy or anything. It's because they made it so if you buy this product, it will not work unless you, and this comes back to my earlier point, it will not work without an Intel product because to enable it is enabled on the other product side. That's the problem. So you can definitely see why I'm a little bit annoyed, because the fact that Intel Optane is actually, as you pointed out, a useless piece of junk, because by itself it does not work. It requires firmware built into the chipset of a motherboard for its stated use to work, which is basically caching high-speed storage. That's essentially how you've explained it to me. Yeah, I don't see this working out too well, but my point though is you have two NVMe drives. They're both 32 gig. Intel Optane is more expensive because it has smart caching essentially. Okay, but that's not true. It does not have smart caching. Nothing built into the actual device actually has smart caching. It requires a whole nother piece of equipment that has to have it enabled. So it has to be obviously a new gen motherboard for it to work. So them selling it as a smart caching solution is incorrect because it's not. It has nothing to do with the drive. It was pretty much just a regular NVMe drive that when you plug it into another system that's set up with smart caching, it works like that. Sorry, I'm not trying to get too overwhelmed on this one, but it's just I'm kind of annoyed from the whole thing is all. Let's see what the World Quest looks like right now. The trinkets are good. I should probably do that. Ooh, I need that. I need that badly. I think that'll, if I get that, that'll get me to the point where I need to be. Okay, so that was there. But does it? The question is does it work the way that Intel advertises? Meaning that if you were to get that setup, is it going to perform in the same route? Again, no. It's I just don't like the whole concept of it. That's my problem. So, complete side note, my wife's sister shared something on Facebook. It's called the Window Down Challenge. And they go through a car wash with all the windows down and sunroof and everything. They're wearing goggles and I guess cover up and bathing suits. Why would you want to ruin your car? What did he name? Sushi? All my characters named after Yu Hakusho characters, for anybody that was wondering. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting if it will actually work as a caching drive or not. Oh, thank God I landed in the water. That could have been not so fun if I didn't. You think I would have flying by now? I think my pupper's mad at me. I played with. I just got home from Germany yesterday, and I played with him for like 3 hours. And he's still like tons of energy. So I figure it's time to feed him. Let him lay down for a little bit. But he's got. There's actually a video up on my Facebook page of he went absolutely crazy when I came home. Peed all over the floors. He generally happy pees, and then rolled around in it too, nonetheless. Yeah, I think like one of my characters is close to being exalted with the last one revered. then I should be able to do it. No. That's so annoying. Once you get like dazed once, they don't stop dazing you. What? How do you wipe on +0? So I'm debating how this will work. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to die regardless, so... Please go further down. Please go further down, and then I will... There we go. And I'll just re-jump off again. Oh, maybe I don't have to jump off again, but hopefully I died far enough down where I could res. No, I didn't. Shit. Oh, I'm gonna have to eat res sickness. Okay. Oh, maybe we'll see. We'll see how far up this takes me. That'll take me in the opposite direction. And how do you wipe on regular mythic? I didn't think that was possible. I've like two-man that shit before. Nope, I gotta eat res sickness. Yay. Let me go ahead and get the flight path, and I'll log on to another character for a couple minutes. Yay. See how long I've been streaming for? I've been streaming long enough. Yeah, I'll get out of here so I can get some other stuff done, but just to kind of round everything up, guys, probably gonna start a new channel. It's gonna be centered around probably cybersecurity, as that is my line of work that I'm in now. So I'll be working on this with some smaller stuff as time goes on. Projects here or there, Ryzen 2, all that fun stuff, but just there'll be a lot of different stuff happening. A lot of stuff going on in my life, so good stuff though, not bad stuff. But as always, guys, I really always appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys know who I am, you know what I do, you know where I'm from, but in case you forgot, this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions, and I'll see you guys later on down the road.